All right, welcome to our latest explainer, where we are going to dive in and objectively dissect the legacy, the mechanics, and the current reality of Virat Kohli's incredible cricket career. Whether you've watched every single century he's ever scored, or you're just trying to wrap your head around the massive hype surrounding this global sports icon, we're going to break down the actual data and the technical realities of his game. We'll look at what makes him so great, how he compares to legends past and present, and the very real technical challenges he's facing right now.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with his place among the Fab Four, then touch on that endless Sachin-era debate, break down the actual anatomy of a chase master, look at why he's the ultimate ODI Goliath, and finally, dig into his recent vulnerability against spin bowling. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. King of the Fab Four. We need to establish a solid baseline of modern greatness.
Now, when we break down the numbers across these formats, the thing that absolutely jumps out is Kohli's insane consistency. In Test cricket, sure, Steve Smith leads the pack with a staggering average near 56, and Joe Root has racked up the most total runs in centuries. Kohli's sitting around a 46.85 average there. But man, when you expand the lens to limited overs cricket, the picture shifts completely. In ODIs, Kohli's average skyrockets to an elite 58.46, just leaving the rest of the group in the dust. And in T20 internationals, he's leading the pack again, hovering near 49. He is literally the only batsman historically capable of maintaining an average near 50 across all three grueling international formats at the exact same time. It's just wild.
And keeping up that kind of cross-format dominance is unbelievably exhausting. Playing tests, ODIs, and T20s practically non-stop takes a massive physical and mental toll. Just take a look at what the legendary A.B. de Villiers had to say. This is a guy a lot of people considered a precursor to Kohli in terms of mastering all formats, and he actually retired early because he just, quote, ran out of gas. The fact that Kohli has managed to dominate all three formats while taking barely any time away from the game, that marks an absolutely unprecedented level of endurance in the modern era.
Moving on to Section 2. The Sachin-era debate, we're going to impartially evaluate this generational clash. So when we put these two eras side by side, it instantly becomes clear why direct statistical comparisons just don't really work. We genuinely need to appreciate both of these legends in their own unique contexts. Think about it. In the 1990s, Sachin played with just one ball that would reverse swing heavily at the back end of an innings. Boundaries were longer, bats were way thinner, and there was absolutely no decision review system. Meaning if an umpire made a bad call, you were walking, end of story. Modern conditions, the ones where Kohli thrives, feature two new balls which basically kill reverse swing. Plus, you have strict fielding restrictions and power plays that actively encourage rapid run scoring.
Actually, this raw quote from a fan debate hits the nail right on the head. It perfectly captures the emotional difference between the two eras. Sachin often carried this massive, singular burden of a nation's expectations, frequently opening the innings without a ton of consistent support. Kohli, on the other hand, while undeniably brilliant, has largely operated in a golden era of Indian cricket. He's often coming in at number 3 with a rock-solid opening pair ahead of him and a super deep batting lineup right behind him. Both guys are absolute titans of the sport, but the team dynamics surrounding them were fundamentally different.
All right, Section 3. Anatomy of a chase master. Let's break down the actual mechanics of a run machine.
To really understand his style, we first have to define his core technique. At his core, Kohli is a bottom-hand-dominated batsman. Now, structurally speaking, his upright posture and balance actually look a lot like the classical technique of Rahul Dravid. But here's the twist. Unlike Dravid's purely top-hand traditionalism, Kohli uses that bottom hand to generate incredible modern power. It lets him whip the ball through the leg side and manipulate gaps with some really intense, snappy wrist work.
And those mechanical foundations, they build right into his 4 pillars of success. First off, physical fitness. To give you an idea of the intensity here, former teammate Chris Wokes noted that Kohli routinely does Olympic-level weightlifting sessions on match days. That's the kind of conditioning that lets him turn simple singles into aggressive twos without breaking a sweat. Second is his unwavering mental strength. The guy just thrives under suffocating pressure. Third is his flawless technical quality, allowing him to play beautiful, low-risk strokes while still scoring incredibly fast. And fourth, elite tactical adaptability. He knows exactly when to anchor the innings and when it's time to just step on the gas.
Which brings us to Section 4, the ultimate ODI Goliath. Let's quantify the peak format of his career. 14,085. I mean, just let that staggering number sink in for a second. That represents his total ODI runs. Over 299 matches, he has racked up those runs at a strike rate of over 93. That puts him third on the all-time list, sitting only behind Kumar Sangakkara and Sachin Tendulkar. But you know what truly sets him apart? It's his record-breaking 51 centuries in the 50-over format. He officially surpassed his idol Sachin on the grandest stage possible during the 2023 World Cup.
And when you break down the math behind his Chase Master nickname, the data is just mind-blowing. Out of all those runs, a massive 5,913 of them have come specifically during successful match-winning run chases. In those victorious second innings, he boasts 24 centuries and an almost unfathomable batting average of 89.59. It's like when a target is set, Kohli turns into a human calculator, breaking down the required run rate with absolutely unmatched precision.
But moving to Section 5, the spin bowling vulnerability. Let's analyze his recent struggles against the turning ball.
Look, to keep this audit entirely objective, we have to look at the current reality, and that brings us to a pretty alarming number, 25. That is the exact number of times Virat Kohli has been dismissed by leg spinners or left-arm orthodox spinners over just the last 3 years, across all formats. This vulnerability was brutally exposed in a recent series against Sri Lanka, where he was trapped LBW in 3 successive games by spinners like Jeffrey Vandersay and Dunith Wallich.
So, what's happening? Well, analysts have pinpointed exactly what's going wrong. He's developed this tendency to go into a negative shell. You see, pre-COVID, Kohli was an entirely different beast against spin. He was aggressive, frequently using his feet to step right out and dictate terms to the bowler. But lately, he's staying anchored deep inside his crease. By not using his feet, he's basically allowing the spin bowlers to dictate the length and the battle, and that directly leads to this huge spike in LBW dismissals.
To wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. Virat Kohli is an undeniable modern great, right? An incredible physical specimen and a master tactician who completely re-engineered the art of the ODI run chase. But with his struggles against spin becoming a huge, glaring target for opposing teams, a massive question looms over him. Can a player famed for his obsessive work ethic hit the nets, fix his footwork flaw, and reinvent himself one last time? Or are we finally seeing the armor crack in the twilight of a legendary career? Think about that the next time you watch him walk to the crease. Thanks for hanging out with us for this greatness audit, and keep analyzing the game. All right.